in with a Chien-Pao as well. How do you think this match looks on paper, though, Chip?
Yeah, honestly, I think I have to give the edge to Chien-Pao. It's got an unlimited damage potential, can one-hit KO all the V-Star Pokemon in Alex's deck. And Alex has a lot harder time dealing with Chien-Pao. Arceus V-Star only deals 200 damage with 3 basic energy on it. Chien-Pao has 220 hit points. And of course, Choice Belt does not boost the damage you deal to EX Pokemon. So Alex's only way to pick up one-hit KOs on the Chien-Pao is going to be through that Giratina V-Star using Lost Impact. Now, a strategy Alex may go for, which is something that has been very popular, something we've seen players going for when they play against Chien-Pao, is to target down the Baxcalibur. So Jared is going to want to make sure that he's keeping plenty of Frigibax in play so that he can always be threatening a next turn rare candy into Baxcalibur.
Yeah, of course, we'll have to see what exactly is in this list as well. We've been talking about Chien-Pao is a brand new archetype here in this format. There's no ironed out perfect list here, and it's been great so far to see the innovation from our players, because I believe all of our Chien-Pao players have had very different lists so far. So yeah. I'm excited to see what Jared Grimes brings to our table here in this match.
Yeah, he's got a few interesting cards in here that we don't always see. He's got the Spiritomb in this list. Oftentimes players not choosing to play it in Chien-Pao, not feeling like they can give up the bench spot. He is also playing that 1/1 Arceus V-Star, which we do unfortunately see in the prize cards here. Alex Hamilton on the other side, as we're seeing these prize cards go out, did prize a couple of Boss's Orders. That could be pretty tough whenever you're trying to target down Baxcalibur.
Yeah, oh my gosh, so the full art boss screaming at the top there of the prize cards. You hate to see it, but we'll see how that factors into this match here later on. But I'm excited to get into the Swiss round 13. Hopefully these players are focused up, as we talked about before, ready to compete to the best of their ability here on our stream for the Pokemon TCG. Let's get into this.
Here we go, our game is about to get underway. Handshake extended, and let's go. Jared Grimes looks like he is starting the game off. Did start that Chien-Pao EX, immediately using that Shivery Chill ability, searching out a few water energy to add them to the hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Easy to just go into your deck immediately, get a look at your deck, as well as just get those energy out, thinned out of the deck. So we'll see where else this first turn goes for Jared. We'll see what's in the hand here, but it's just going to be, oh no!
No Frigibax.
No Frigibax, not even a single one, just a basic energy attachment to that Chien-Pao. And a pass over to Alex Hamilton, starting with an Arceus V here. And
Jared's got rare candy Baxcalibur, but just could not find a way to get a Frigibax into play. I was going to say that, I mean, with Jared going first, he can really threaten Alex's deck, and even if Alex gets off the turn 1 Trinity Charge, which is going to be his best play, Jared could have responded with a 2 prize KO on the next turn, but that is no longer going to be an option. Alex definitely breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, where is the Frigibax when you need it the most? So unfortunate there. Huge whiff from Jared, but let's see how Alex can set up this initial hand here. Taking a look through the deck, making sure to count all of these particularly important cards to this deck. You can see sorting through the Pokemon here that we have. What is our line, our Bibarel line?
It looks like a 2/2, so pretty solid, consistent. Jared is also playing Bibarel, something we haven't seen much from our Chien-Pao players, but something I'm a personal big fan of. Bibarel just smooths out the deck so much. So I'm glad to see Jared's chosen to include that in his list. Obviously, Bibarel, a mainstay in the Arceus Giratina deck, so no surprise to see Alex with the thick 2/2 line. He is also playing the Squavit. We did see that hit the discard pile immediately, so no nest stashes in this one.
Yeah, Squavit is going to sit out for this match here so far. You see Alex Hamilton taking note of what is in the prize cards here as well. Something you see our top players doing, keeping track of all of their resources so that there's no surprises in the later turns of these games. Is it a pretty strong starting hand?
Yeah, he does have double turbo energy, which is the main thing you want to see as an Arceus player when you're going second, because you can get off that key turn 1 Trinity Charge. And so right away we are seeing that energy being attached. And he even has an Iono to go with it. Iono's not as strong in the early game because you are giving your opponent 6 new cards, but Alex knows Jared added a couple water energy to the hand. It is interesting, though, because Alex should also know that Jared did not have an out to another basic Pokemon. But, of course, you can't know what Jared's holding on to. Possibly Jared's got an Irida in the hand or an Iono of his own. So let's play that Iono, get yourself a fresh new hand, and maybe try to establish something like a Bidoof this turn.
Well, Alex Hamilton getting a Giratina V down here onto the field.
Yeah, and not going to choose to use this Ultra Ball, saving it for the Arceus V-Star, which I think based on what's in hand makes sense. Taking a moment to search the deck now with the Trinity Charge, and is going to load up the Giratina V, threatening it to become a V-Star in future turns.
Yeah, again, that double turbo is huge, so you can get that Trinity Charge, get all of those energy lined up onto your board, and get crack-a-lackin' here in these next couple of turns. We'll see how Jared is able to respond. Of course, we're working with the Iono hands now, so fresh 6 cards, a 7th for the top deck as well. And here we go. Is that finally the Frigibax that we see come out onto the field?
It is indeed a Frigibax, and the draw for turn was an Iono. I think this hand was not looking very good until Jared drew the Iono for turn. No other supporter option, so he's going to be happy to get that. Question is, what's he grab? You get a water Pokemon and an item card, maybe something like another Frigibax and Nest Ball to go get Bidoof. Something like that seems pretty good.
Yep, we're going to see what Jared chooses here off of this Irida. Ooh, Radiant Greninja being eyed up as well.
Yeah,
as a
can't
potential
forget that.
Pokemon. Yeah, huge Pokemon there for just the consistency to this deck. Just taking a look through as well. Also gets an item card, so deciding what to get as well.
Yeah, it looks like Irida's going to grab the Greninja and the Nest Ball to go get the Frigibax, and then let's get this chain rolling with the concealed cards. And actually, I think wisely here, Jared's going to choose to not play the Nest Ball just yet. Wouldn't mind having some more basic Pokemon in play, so use concealed cards first, see what you draw, and then go for the Nest Ball to get down the Frigibax. Really smart sequencing.
Here we go, 2 cards off that concealed cards. Another Frigibax, we hit it.
Rewarded for holding off, because now this Nest Ball gets to go get Bidoof.
Very, very nice. Yeah, you want to get all of your supporter Pokemon out here on the field. So here we go, Nest Ball going into the deck. Bidoof already sitting on the top there, but is it going to be another Chien-Pao?
Yeah, Chien-Pao makes sense as well if you're expecting this active to maybe go down to an aggressive play from Alex. If Alex got Switch plus Giratina, could Lost Impact, discard the double turbo energy, or Lost Zone it, excuse me, from the Arceus V. Take a pretty easy 2-prize turn, so maybe you do want to respect the potential of that, get down a Chien-Pao so you have an easy thing to promote next turn.
Playing it safe, I like it. Jared just looking at the hand here. I don't think there's just going to manually attach here to the Chien-Pao. There's not much else to do here for Jared. It's just going to be a pass over to Alex Hamilton now.
Yeah. I don't think I would have hated to see Jared just attach to the active Inhale Blade for 120 damage. Just get a little bit of damage in play and also put some water energy in your discard pile so that you can activate your superior energy retrievals throughout the rest of the game. As it stands, though, Jared choosing to spread the energy so that this bench Chien-Pao will have an easier time getting to the 280 mark to one-hit KO an Arceus V-Star.
All right, we're starting with Alex discarding some cards here for that Ultra Ball, searching out an Arceus V-Star. This is exactly what you want to see, this evolution into the V-Star. This is turn 2 for Alex Hamilton. All those energy are already lined up there on the Giratina V on the bench as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how aggressive Alex wants to go with this. He's got a Judge in hand, so what he could do is play the Judge, put Jared down to just 4 cards, making it difficult for Jared to realistically find the rare Candy Baxcalibur combo, and then off of the Judge, see what he gets, go for Starbirth, figure out exactly what he needs, and then potentially set up for that Lost Impact aggressive play. Looks like he may play it a little slower, a little safer with the attachment to the active. He does still have this option, I guess, off the Judge, so he's going to wait and see what he gets. Could just go for another Trinity Nova, accelerate to a different Giratina, spread his energy out, and make sure that he has 2 attackers ready to go.
Yep, it's going to be that V-Guard energy onto the Arceus V-Star there. And we're just shuffling up for this Judge, 4 cards for each player here. But yeah, as you were talking about, Chip, I mean, disruption against the Chien-Pao deck is very difficult to deal with sometimes, depending on the cards that you have. And resources go very quickly when you're playing Chien-Pao as well. And you need to pick things up in the later game, but sometimes the disruption is just enough to throw you off and not allow you to do that. So this judge is just 4 cards for each player. Let's see if Alex Hamilton landed into anything good.
It does have a Nest Ball and an Ultra Ball in hand, so that can start to establish something like Bidoof. And we do see the flip of the V-Star marker. So now using Starbirth to search for any 2 cards. It looks like Nest Ball is one of the choices. So I think we are going to see the slower, more methodical play of Nest Ball down a different Giratina V, load that up with the Trinity Nova, and then also Nest Ball for your Bidoof. So that way you can get that rolling next turn.
Just continuing to develop the board here to hopefully set up some checkmate situations if you're super developed and your opponent can't respond to that, especially if you add in some disruption. There, Path to the Peak coming into play right after that V-Star power. That is very huge chip indeed.
Yeah, drew it off the judge, so was able to just have that piece. And this is super strong into Jared's deck. The Chien Pao, the Shivery Chill, that's how you get your energy established. Get them in play, get them set up. And you also draw cards through Radiant Greninja, and that's not going to be an option. And look at this hand, Boo, for Jared. Off of the judge, the draw for turn. Nothing working here. A basic water energy, a Frigibax, a Rare Candy, Bidoof, and Battle VIP Pass. Not much to do here. Bench Bidoof, and then do you attach to the active and just try to do some damage with the Hailblade?
Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. The disruption, if it's just too much against the Chien Pao, it really struggles because it does have to put so many pieces together in this matchup, and the more you get limited, the harder it gets. It's going to be that energy attachment, though, to the active position now for Jared Grimes.
Yeah, we may just see the Hailblade for 120 here, discarding 2 energy cards, keeping the energy on the benched Chien Pao. So if you promote it next turn, all you need to do is attach an energy to at least pull off some sort of attack next turn.
Yeah, you still have some damage on board, and that's important to keep up the consistency of getting damage out there, not falling too far behind in this matchup here. But that's going to be a knockout, the first one for Alex Hamilton as well, getting ready to take 2 prize cards, only 4 left to take to win this game.
Yeah, for Alex, I wouldn't have hated to see Boss's orders targeting down that Bidoof. You know Jared did nothing last turn, attached an energy, attacked. So if you Boss's orders, bring up that Bidoof, take it out, you know that it's going to be much harder for your opponent to do much. And what a draw for turn. That Irida, this could turn into a Baxcalibur and a Bibarel here.
Absolutely, definitely could. Irida searching out that water Pokemon and an item card that can go get another Pokemon as well. We have Rare Candy already in the hand to evolve into the Baxcalibur right away from one of these Frigibax. We'll see where Jared Grimes chooses to go with this turn.
Yeah, there's Baxcalibur being brought to the front right away, and I have to think Ultra Ball is the other grab here. Energy Retrieval doesn't do too much for you. I mean, you can still accelerate energy into play. Of course, Path to the Peak does not turn off the ability of the Baxcalibur. Oh, it might just be superior energy retrieval as opposed to the Ultra Ball. You will still go down to 0 cards, but there is technically enough energy in the discard pile for Jared to get this KO. This will work. I don't know if... I think you almost have to go for the Bibarel here, though, because...
Like, what do you do after that?
Yeah. I mean, it's so high odds that you still draw into a way to maybe get rid of the Path to the Peak or find another superior energy retrieval. Jared just wanting to at least guarantee he can take this KO, so I understand the thought process, but I have to wonder if going for Bibarel would have been a little stronger.
All right, here we go. We're going to see the retreat off that Frigibax. The energy acceleration from the Baxcalibur that's in play. And then here we go, the knockout for Jared Grimes, taking 2 prize cards, tying things up. But yeah, Chip, like, where do you go from here after that? Without that Bibarel to line some more cards up into your hand, what are the future of these turns going to look like for Jared Grimes? We'll have to see, but Alex Hamilton is navigating the board now with this hand, flipping a card there out of the way. But what do we see in this hand? There's a Judge, an Ultra Ball that's about to discard when the Judge. Boss's Order, Escape Rope in the hands right now, but we're going into the deck currently for a Pokemon off this Ultra Ball.
So Alex has a couple choices here, and it looks like he's going to go the route of trying to just take 2 prizes. Recognizing his opponent went to 0 cards last turn, it's going to be pretty unlikely for them to pop off and take a knockout on your Giratina V-Star in the active spot right now. So just use the Lost Impact, Lost Zone the double colorless from the Bidoof most likely. There is, of course, the play where Alex could have targeted down Jared's Baxcalibur, use that boss's orders in hand, go after it that way, but racing the prizes seems decent too. That's what he's going for.
Chip, we just got to top deck the Bibarel. Easy. The 1 Bibarel in deck. No big deal.
Yeah, or Ultra Ball now working since you did take 2 prize cards, so
yeah, that
would technically work as well.
There's a couple outs here. We'll have to see what the top deck is going to be. Yeah, he definitely needs it. That's going to be a knockout there. 2 more prize cards for Alex Hamilton. Just those 2 screaming boss's orders hanging out in the prize cards left until Alex Hamilton can take this win. What did Jared Grimes top deck in this match?
A boss's orders, and so he could boss the Bidoof. Or the Bibarel, excuse me, because Alex did just Lost Zone the double colorless energy off of the Bibarel, so it does not have that easy pivot option. It does have a 2 retreat cost. I think that's what Jared is considering here, seeing 1 double colorless or double turbo energy in the Lost Zone, 1 in the discard pile. Boss's orders install is his best play.
That's what it's going to be, bringing that Bibarel up into the active position, and that is all that Jared Grimes can do. Now we're on to Alex Hamilton's side of the field, but it's going to be an escape rope. Jared going to promote that Radiant Greninja, and things are just not looking any better here for Jared Grimes.
Yeah, and boss's orders to target Baxcalibur.
That's going to do it.
Jared recognizes this is just too much for me to come back from. I've got to concede this one, and we'll move on to game 2. Hopefully things go a little better for me. And I have to wonder if Jared had gone for the Bibarel. Obviously, it wouldn't have guaranteed him a knockout that turn, but it advances his board. He gets to use Bibarel multiple times, and he can just keep the cards churning, keep seeing new cards, and there's still a high odds chance that he would have found the pieces needed to get the knockout that turn.
Well, unfortunately, Chip, we cannot go back and see what would have happened. Jared Grimes chose that route, that strategy to take in game 1. We'll see if he sort of adjusts his strategy in this game 2. But Alex Hamilton, congratulations, going to take down that game 1 so far in this set. But things are far from over here. 35 minutes still left on the clock. I'm excited to see if Alex Hamilton can hold out here and take a nice 2-0 potentially in this Swiss round 13.
Yeah, Jared will get to go first again here in game 2. He did go first in game 1, but missed that key Frigibax. So that's what he's going to be looking for in this opening hand. Please, just give me a Frigibax, give me a Nest Ball, a Battle VIP Pass, anything. I'll do whatever you want. Make it so that I can set up and play the game and maybe have an opportunity to pop off. Let's see if he can make it happen.
Yeah, there's so many setup cards in this deck. We just need Jared Grimes to hit some. We'll be kicking off our game 2 here between these players. They're just setting up now. We'll take a look at these prize cards between both of our players. Hopefully nothing too bad.
1 superior for Jared, a Chien Pao. We do see a Bibarel in the prizes for Alex and a Giratina V-Star. There are only 2.
3
grass energy. Yeah, that as well. That is, yeah, that's not ideal.
There's only 4 in deck, so having 3 is a bit awkward there for Alex Hamilton. Of course, can take some prize cards and hopefully pick some up for the later turns. But I mean, yeah, if you get that Arceus and you go to power up, you only have 1 grass energy in your deck to be able to power up your Giratina, which is very awkward indeed. Jared Grimes going to be going first here, and thank goodness, Chip, we hit the Battle VIP pass here. Jared Grimes is going to see that little Frigibax, and Radiant Greninja is going to join us on the field as well.
Yeah, this turn's already looking so much better. Plenty of energy cards in hand in order to try and draw with the concealed cards. Maybe looking for another VIP pass.
Oh,
there is another Frigibax. That's pretty good.
I
do see an Ultra Ball in this hand as well. If Jared wants to try to get a Bidoof down, that Bibarel is also in this opening hand.
Yep, that's looking like what's going to happen. We're going to use this Ultra Ball here, just deciding what to discard. It's going to be that Manaphy and a Water Energy here for Jared Grimes. Looking into the deck now. Going to do a quick search, map things out here, but it is going to be that Bidoof that comes down. And this is a fantastic initial setup here for Jared Grimes. Still energy in the hand as well to attach for turn. So we are cruising a lot easier here than we saw in game 1. Alex Hamilton, on the other hand, starting with that Bidoof and going to go into the deck straight away with an Ultra Ball, discarding a Choice Belt and a Psychic Energy. Another energy card down.
And going to take a moment to check the prize cards. We saw Alex doing the same thing in game number 1. That one grass energy being moved
That's it.
up to the back. This is good that Alex is taking a moment to check the prize cards now, because he'll be able to play with the knowledge that that is something that was prized for him. Yeah, taking a moment to notice. Less than ideal for sure.
Yeah, 3 grass energy is quite a lot. Of course, there are 14 energy in this deck, which is kind of a lot of energy, but yeah, having all of the same type prize is a bit awkward for sure. Gonna take note of all this. Of course, all of the Pokemon that are in there as well. Just making sure all these resources are in line. What do you think, if anything, we're gonna see that's sort of different this time in our game 2, Chip?
Well, on Jared's end, I'm already glad to see Bidoof come down and hopefully get Bibarel established. On Alex's end, I think things are going to be a bit slower. It's a little harder for him to get off the Trinity charge this turn, so we're probably just going to see him attach an energy. I think he's got a Psychic Energy in his hand that he'll be able to attach. If he has another switching card and a double turbo, he can pull off the dream play of turn 1 Trinity charge, but he recognizes that's pretty unlikely to draw off of an Iono. Let's just go for the safe attachment to the bench.
Yep, slower indeed. We're just going to see that Iono. So it is going to be a fresh 6 cards for both of our players here. Alex Hamilton, we'll see what else we can do on this turn. Hopefully getting a Giratina. I do see one, but is that the V-Star or the V?
That is the Giratina V-Star.
Ooh.
Not the one you wanted to find, especially with one V-Star being prized.
Oh my goodness.
Alex was debating benching the Spiritomb. The nice thing here for Jared Grimes is there's no Path to the Peak in play now.
True.
So you're freely able to use the Shivery Chill. You're freely able to use the concealed cards. And the Bidoof in Alex's active spot, it only has 60 HP, so all Jared has to do to get a knockout this turn is attach another energy to Chien Pao. Doesn't even have to worry about getting back Excalibur in play. Obviously, I think he'd like to, but it's not something that has to happen.
Also limits the consistency as well that Alex Hamilton might be able to go for if that Bidoof evolves into the Bibarel. So that's also a plus as well for Jared Grimes. Things are, the tides are turning into a Chien Pao, looking like it's doing pretty well so far in this game.
I will say Jared does play one escape rope, so he could use this escape rope, force the Arceus V active, and if he has the pieces, like a rare candy in the hand, he can pull off the knockout on Arceus V, but it doesn't look like that is a viable play. I don't think he had the rare candy in hand.
Now has that rare candy in Baxcalibur, of course, off of that Irida that we see. So Chien Pao going to join us on the bench as well. And then we're just going to see that rare candy into the Baxcalibur. This deck is now moving the energy retrieval, getting that energy back into the hand from the discard pile to just be accelerated onto the field wherever Jared Grimes wants, because that Baxcalibur super cold ability allows you to accelerate as many times as you want in a turn. It is so powerful and is the sole reason this deck is succeeding so much. It's the acceleration engine here of Baxcalibur.
I think Jared choosing to take the knockout on Bidoof and discarding an energy from his active. I think it would have been a little better to maybe discard one from the benched Chien Pao, keep 2 energy on your active so it can attack next turn pretty easily, even if your opponent pulls off something like Boss's Orders Baxcalibur. Because if I'm Alex Hamilton, that's one of the main things I'm thinking about here. Ultra Ball can get the Arceus V-Star, and then you can use that V-Star power to guarantee any play you may want. And one of the things I'd be thinking about is that Baxcalibur going down this turn.
Yeah.
The fact that Jared did load some energy up does make that a little riskier, however, so all things Alex has to keep in mind. We have to remember, though, Arceus V-Star does not have a way to one-hit KO the Chien Pao until the Giratina gets up and running.
Absolutely. It's just such an awkward hand. 2 Boss's Orders, that Giratina V-Star in the hand, as well as I think an escape rope. So this Arceus V-Star Starbirth power V-Star power for the entire game is coming in so clutch here to get Alex Hamilton these 2 cards needed to hopefully salvage this situation here thus far in the game, because it has been much slower so far of a setup for Alex Hamilton in this game too.
And I do think the cards drawn here on Starbirth were a double Turbo Energy and Iono. So Alex going for the disruption path here, hoping to find a little something extra in order to help him out. He actually has Escape Rope here, which could be decent. Maybe take a prize card on one of these 1-prize Pokemon, see what Jared sends up. I think Jared could feel pretty safe to send up this Chien-Pao, however.
Yeah, that's going to be the promotion of the Chien-Pao into the Iono here. So Alex Hamilton will get a fresh 6 cards to have in this turn. We're hoping to get some more Pokemon out onto the field. Jared Grimes also going to have 5 cards added to the hands off that Iono as well. But Alex Hamilton really needed a refresh of the hands, and a Nest Ball is a great way to start here, at least to get another Pokemon onto the field to power up with this Arceus V-Star Trinity Nova.
Yeah, it does have an Arceus V as well to replace on the bench. We do see that path to the peak, trying to limit the options of Shivery Chill, but with Jared already having 3 energy cards in play, if he finds a replacement stadium, he can just get rid of this path to the peak, use Shivery Chill, guarantee the 2 energy needed in order to accelerate them into play with Super Cold, and take a 1-hit knockout on this 280 HP Arceus V-Star.
Yeah, that is nothing to scoff at. 280 HP is a lot of HP, so we might see the power of Chien-Pao coming out here and taking huge knockouts potentially for Jared Grimes. Things have really turned around in this game too so far.
And Jared does have the replacement stadium. It's the Lost City, getting rid of this path to the peak. Ultra Ball ditching both pieces of Arceus V-Star, not even having to get anything here. Can use Shivery Chill to draw energy cards. Could also use the Bibarel first. Industrious Incisors, draw a couple cards. If you want to get more energy cards, this makes a lot more sense. Draw 3, and then you have your Shivery Chill ability.
Absolutely. I think that was 2 Boss's Orders being drawn into, as well as a superior energy retrieval for Jared Grimes. And then we're going to jump straight into that Shivery Chill. As you said, Chip, searching out those 2 basic water energy from the deck for Jared.
I think Jared would have loved to have gotten another Baxcalibur in play this turn. That totally cuts off the option of your opponent going for a Boss's Orders play to try to limit your options. Don't think he's got it, though.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Concealed cards did bring Hisuian Heavy Ball and Illuminion, I believe, into the hand. But yeah, definitely not going to be able to get another Baxcalibur out of here. Choosing which 2 cards here to discard to that superior energy retrieval to get water energy back out of the discard up to 4 and into your hands.
And Jared's going to take this opportunity before Baxcalibur has a chance to go down and load a bunch of energy cards up into play. And he honestly can pretty safely load them onto the Chien-Pao EX on the bench if he wants to. Does need to discard 5 from the active, but I would expect to see any other remaining energy just stay on this benched one. 220 hit points. It's not in danger at all this turn.
All right,
he's going to hold off on accelerating, though. Okay.
Just going to hold it in hands. All right. Having that energy still in hands, maybe either just saving it, wanting it for concealed cards potentially, or just wanting to keep it in hand just in case disruption happens to search it back out. But Jared Grimes going to take another knockout here, going down to 3 prize cards left to take for this game. Alex Hamilton with that Arceus V in the active does have 3 energy attached, so is eligible to attack, but still needs to become a V-Star in order to have that Trinity Nova attack. We're going to start with that Ultra Ball. That'll get us a Pokemon here.
You're probably going to be the Bibarel, try to fill the hand and see if there's other options available. Alex did lose a Boss's Orders here. I think bossing Baxcalibur seems pretty strong. Of course, your opponent could make something happen with Rare Candy or Irida, something like that, and you know they've got a decent-sized hand, so Alex may think it's higher value to just try to get through this active, but if you take the 2 prizes here on this active, you know it's going to be pretty easy for Jared with Baxcalibur remaining in play to respond with a 1-hit KO.
Yeah, it's definitely stacking up here against Alex Hamilton, getting very awkward. We're seeing the draw off of the Bibarel here. At least nets us a Nest Ball to get out another Pokemon. It's going to be that Arceus V coming out here.
Yeah, not at all going for the Giratina, knowing that there is a Grass Energy on his active. There's 3 in the prize card, so
wouldn't be able to use it.
But if you're taking 2 prizes this turn, there's a decent chance you're going to take a Grass Energy, right? So maybe it makes sense to get down a Giratina and try to get maybe a Psychic Energy or 2 on it. But actually, now that we're mentioning it, I don't even know how many Psychic Energy are left in the deck for Alex. It might not be any.
There's 4 Psychic Energy total, 2 on the active position. I think 1 was discarded earlier in the beginning.
I think 1 was attached to the first Arceus V-Star, so I don't think has any basic energy remaining in this deck right now.
Wow, well that explains a lot, Chip. This is all the basic energy that we have here. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing left besides special energy here for Alex Hamilton. All the basic energy is out on the field already, so we are going to see that knockout on that Chien-Pao that was already heavily damaged here. But now we just have this Arceus V-Star, a vulnerable Pokemon in the face of a Chien-Pao that can be fully charged up and potentially take a one-hit knockout. And Jared Grimes is starting with an Irida for a Pokemon and an item card.
And choosing to grab Lost Vacuum. This reason right here is why people are playing Lost Vacuum in this deck. Irida allows you to search for an item card, but not a stadium card. An item card and a water Pokemon. And Lost Vacuum is a way that with an item card, you can get rid of Path to the Peak. That is really detrimental for this deck.
Yep, that Path to the Peak needs to go. Jared Grimes is going to be able to do that with that Lost Vacuum, of course, being able to discard the Path to the Peak as well as another card from the hand into the Lost Zone forever here. And then we're going to see that Bibarel drawing into an additional 3 cards to Jared Grimes' hands. We see the Hisuian Heavy Ball coming into play. Don't think there's, Chien-Pao's in the prize cards here, so going to be replaced by that Hisuian Heavy Ball, which gets Jared Grimes another Chien-Pao. Nice to have in the hand. Yeah,
it's actually pretty massive because the other Chien-Pao's already been knocked out. He's only got 3 in the list, 1 in the active, 1 in the discard pile, so having this other Chien-Pao to be able to bench so that even if your opponent uses Iono, puts you to just 1 card, that Chien-Pao is ready to be promoted to attack and potentially close out the game.
Yeah, Jared Grimes having a great time here so far, but has to keep laser focused to close this game out.
Hits that Superior off concealed cards. It was the second card he hit, and I think that's what he needed in order to get the KO this turn. Didn't have too many other options.
Just deciding what to discard. It's going to be 1 Iono. We just need 1 more card to join the discard pile to get up to 4 water energy, and there are plenty right now in the discard pile. And this is how this deck functions. It accelerates to the board, then it gets them out of the discard pile and accelerates them back to all your Pokemon after taking huge knockouts with that Hail Blade. And we're going to see it again here from Jared Grimes.
Something interesting, though, Jared, with this Superior, did discard his 3rd Baxcalibur. 1 is in play, 1 is in the Lost Zone, and the other one was just discarded. So if Alex does find the play to boss his orders, KO this Baxcalibur with an Arceus V-Star, it's going to be hard for Jared to get enough energy in play to really do much of anything. Now, that is pretty unlikely, right? Alex has just an Arceus with a double turbo energy. He doesn't have the V-Star, doesn't have the energy. Jared has no way of knowing if he has the boss or not. So Jared maybe going with this play, making sure he can take the 2 prizes, feeling like Baxcalibur was the most expendable card in his hand. We'll see what Alex Hamilton has available.
It is looking rough. Jared Grimes only needing to take 1 more prize card. It's going to be a switch here from Alex Hamilton into that Arceus V. Another Path to the Peak coming into play for some more disruption here on Alex Hamilton's side of the field. Taking a quick look through the discard pile.
Yeah, and I think his play is going to be boss's orders. Bring up this Baxcalibur. This is your 3rd and final one. The only way you can get one back is with Super Rod, and hope to find Arceus V-Star. 2 cards to do it, and one of them is an Ultra Ball.
We hit the Ultra Ball here. That'll allow for a double discard for Alex Hamilton to get that Arceus V-Star needed for this turn. That is huge, Chip.
So Jared, all he needs to close out the game with 1 prize is a boss and a water energy. So maybe he's saying, hey, if you do go for this boss's order on Baxcalibur play, that means you're not disrupting my hand. I've got Boss's Orders and an energy, which is enough to close out the game on Bibarel. So if Jared has those pieces, that's fine that he goes this route, but let's see what he has.
I'll draw for turn.
There's the boss, but I don't see an energy. And that path to the peak. Oh, wait, I think he may have it. Is the boss there in his hand? We're using Irida, Rare Candy, but Baxcalibur, there is no more in the deck.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think Jared had the game, I'm pretty sure. He has a stadium in hand. I'm pretty sure, had Boss's Orders. He's using those new full art Getsis.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah, that
I think
is
it is.
That's
so if he just bumps the stadium with Lost City, uses Shivery Chill, gets a water energy out of the deck. Is there a water energy in the deck? There is.
There is.
He would have been able to just Boss's Orders, bring up Bibarel, and take the KO, taking his one remaining prize card.
Oh, no. But we're searching off of the Irida right now. So the Irida was the supporter for turn.
That's right.
Not allowing you to play the Boss's Orders for Jared Grimes. What do you think he's thinking right now, Chip?
I think he's thinking, I thought I had a third Baxcalibur, but it's in my Lost Zone.
Oh, yeah.
The first thing he grabbed off of the Irida was a Rare Candy. So
that's so true. That's exactly what he was thinking.
The first thing, now he plays the Lost City, gets the path out of play. What he can do is he can still set up to win next turn and be okay. He has Superior in hand. He can get energy cards. So he can just attach an energy for turn maybe to his benched Chien Pao, so that next turn he can either escape rope or boss and try to KO this Bibarel.
Yeah, but just putting yourself into this position when you had the win at hand has gotta hurt quite a bit there. And I mean, that's why it's so important to make sure you're keeping track of all of your resources here. There's only so many cards in your deck, and if you don't know where they are, then it can get confusing, especially in this late game. But we'll see if Jared Grimes can still pull things off here. We're gonna have that Shivery Chill bring out those energy cards from the deck for Jared.
Yeah, once again, Jared should be aware that his opponent cannot knock out this Chien Pao. There's no realistic way for that to happen. There's no damage modifiers that get the Arceus V-Star to doing enough damage, so Alex will just draw for turn here. Jared attaching now to the active. Boss's Orders brings up the Frigibax. It's going to take maybe the one prize KO.
Yeah, I'm going to use Bibarel first to draw into an additional 3 cards for Alex. Not much else to do, just going to take this one prize card off of that Frigibax here, and Jared Grimes shows the Boss's Orders. Gonna take out that Bibarel on the bench and take this game 2. So we're going into a third game here between Chien Pao and Arceus Giratina.
Yeah, as Jared, you're feeling good because you got the win, but I think you're feeling a little frazzled because you did it a turn too late. You had it locked up. Maybe you realize it now at this point. You just got to kind of shake off these nerves, realize, okay, game 3, I'm in an okay spot. This matchup feels fine for me. Let's make this happen. Get a turn 1 Irida, get the Battle VIP pass up and rolling. On Alex Hamilton's side, you're ecstatic that you get to go first now. You're going to get a turn to get that Arceus V-Star down, get that energy attachment, and hope to get the Trinity Novas rolling and get more of a setup similar to what you had in the first game, and also maybe hoping that you don't prize 3 grass energy.
Yeah, if you're, yeah, true. That's a big aspect to that chip for sure. I think I heard Jared Grimes down there talking about, uh-oh, I don't see a Baxcalibur. So yeah, that's definitely what was in mind there for Jared Grimes, but hopefully he can shake things off and have a very fantastic initial turn setup. As we saw in game 2, Jared Grimes had a fantastic setup, and that carried him through the entire rest of game 2. It was just consistently getting knockouts from Alex Hamilton's side, and Alex Hamilton just couldn't recover. It was too awkward, too clunky, couldn't even use the Giratina V-Star. So hopefully things will change up, but if you're gonna win a game, you really want it to be the first game, because if you lose the second game, as you said, you get to choose if you go first or second, and that is extremely powerful in the Pokemon TCG. What's up with Alex Hamilton prizing these Boss's Orders?
Yeah, there was 2 in the prizes game 1, 2 in the prizes this game. Nothing really too crazy for either player in the prizes, with the exception of Jared prizing his 1 Bibarel. We saw how great that was to have access to in game number 2. Would have liked to have seen him use more access of it in game number 1, and it's just not going to be an option here in this third and final game. Looks like we've already gotten over to Jared's turn, and he's starting it off with that Irida. Great turn 1 supporter.
Yeah, huge here. All Alex Hamilton was able to do is attach that double turbo energy and end turn. So Jared Grimes is going to be able to line things up here with that Irida, getting a water Pokemon and an item card. Of course, that battle VIP pass. There's 4 in the deck because it is that good of a card here in this Baxcalibur deck. It's going to be used to get out even more Pokemon onto the bench. So Jared Grimes can have an explosive first turn just like we saw in our game 2.
Yeah, I wonder if we could see the Arceus V-Star come into play. We haven't seen that yet in this set.
I actually forgot it was even in the deck.
Yeah. So with no Bibarel hanging around, is Arceus V-Star and having option to use that Starbirth V-Star power, is that what Jared wants to try and go with?
Yeah, that's going to be the question, I suppose, for Jared Grimes. How does he innovate, change things up potentially in this game 3? Or is it just going to be the same consistent play that we've been seeing and hope for no hiccups here and there? Alex Hamilton is at least going to have this Arceus V-Star evolution here on this side of the board, which is huge. Now we do have that V-Star power. Let's see what else is in the hand that maybe Alex wants to play here to get some initial setup going before we use that. But it's just going to be a flip of that V-Star power to go in first for these 2 cards.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see that right away. Alex does have a Judge in hand, and judging away what Jared is working with seems pretty good to me. I guess you know Jared doesn't have any water energy. He did not use concealed cards last turn, but still, putting a stage 2 deck down to just 4 cards on the second turn of the game is really strong. So I would have loved to see Alex maybe go for the Judge, save the V-Star power, wait to see what he gets off Judge, and then try to establish his Giratinas in this game.
Yeah, I mean, and look at the hand too for Jared. Already has the rare candy there and the Baxcalibur as well. So that would be huge. Alex Hamilton nest balling here into the deck. And here's that Giratina. We do have grass energy this time around for Alex.
Yep.
So Giratina is an option in this game 3. And it paid off in game 1. So let's see what happens here. Path to the Peak already coming in play. That's fantastic because the V-Star ability has already been used on Arceus V-Star. So that is just pure disruption here for Jared Grimes' side of the field, putting another obstacle in the way, as well as taking a knockout on a Frigibax that was in the active position. So there's only 1 Frigibax currently on the field for Jared Grimes for this turn.
Yeah, Alex choosing not to go any sort of disruption route, not playing Judge or Iono that he had in the hand. Would have expected to see the Judge come down, but I think it's actually going to work out here because Jared's not holding on to too much. Looks like a Boss, a Baxcalibur, an Ultra Ball, and that Luminion, which is now not able to be working thanks to the Path to the Peak that Alex did search out on Starbirth.
Absolutely. Ultra Ball getting a discard here, the Arceus V-Star in 1 of the rare candy. Of course, there was 2 in hand, so we still have the evolution already for Baxcalibur going into the deck here to get a Pokemon out off the Ultra Ball.
Yeah, just get another Frigibax so that way you don't run the risk of Boss's Orders KOing your lone Frigibax, and hold off on the rare candy Baxcalibur that you're holding onto in hand. You don't want to rare candy into a Baxcalibur without putting any energy in play,
targeted.
and have it just get targeted for no reason.
Yeah, which honestly, the disruption still looking good then as well for Jared, or if Alex Hamilton chooses to do that, because those cards from an Iono would get put to the bottom of the deck on Jared Grimes' side of the field. So let's see what Alex chooses to do here. Giratina V now in the active position here because of that Boss's Orders that Jared used.
Yeah, and I actually like this Boss's Orders. You might look at this and think it doesn't really accomplish much, but it prevents Alex from being able to get extra energy cards into play through Trinity Nova. So even though your active Greninja is still going to go down, you bring this Giratina up, and are we seeing a retreat of the Giratina? Wow.
That was a hard retreat of the Giratina V. That's why those energy cards are in the discard pile now, a grass and a psychic energy. And that's how important this energy charge is here for Alex Hamilton. That Trinity Nova taking the knockout on the Radiant Greninja, as well as getting these energy out onto the field and hopefully setting up some checkmate scenarios later in this game.
Yeah, and this is just really not looking good for Jared. Draw for turn is the Spiritomb. That's not going to help you here in this spot. It may just have to be yet another pass back over to Alex's side. And sure enough, Alex is drawing for turn.
Yeah, drawing into another Giratina. I believe it was the V. another attach for turn, just a manual
Simple
attach to that Arceus V, developing this board so much here on Alex Hamilton's side. Oh. And it's just looking bad here, Chip. It really is. It's progressively gotten worse and worse, unfortunately, for Jared Grimes. Alex Hamilton was just able to get everything out. Even though it was a pretty awkward start, Jared Grimes just has not been able to really do anything in all of these turns.
Yeah, and it's just
Passing
a
again.
pass. Oh, you have to feel for Jared in this spot. Nothing he could have done. His opening hand just, he recognizes it like, yeah, like I didn't do anything wrong.
No.
I just didn't have anything to work with.
Absolutely nothing to work with. Super awkward scenarios here, and the more knockouts that are taken, the harder it is for Jared to do anything. And as we see time and time again, this Frigibax, the lone Frigibax being targeted here. It's going to be too much, unfortunately, for Jared Grimes. We saw the fist bump here, and Alex Hamilton with this Arceus Giratina is going to take the win here in this set, 2-1.
Yep, moving to an 11-3 record. What a start here at the largest Pokemon event we have ever held. Great job to Jared as well. I mean, it's still in this event. He's sitting at a X